Hey guys, what is up? So it has been a while. I've not posted a vlog in forever. It's been a long time. And it's not because I haven't filmed. I actually film a lot. But it never sees the light of day because I tend to get into this very bad habit of filming a bunch of vlog footage, and then I feel really overwhelmed and intimidated by how much footage I filmed and trying to fit editing that and viewing that and sorting through that into a busy schedule. And then too much time passes and it becomes irrelevant, and here we are. I actually had recently, I want to start this off by saying this particular vlog is not a spoiler vlog. I will be starting to add that into the titles of my vlogs, whether or not it'll be a spoiler vlog or not. Most, like 99% of the time, my vlogs are spoiler free because I want everybody to be able to watch it. But if it's ever specifically spoilery, I will mention it and I will probably put it in the title. So I just want to throw that out there. But I had recently filmed like a full like spoiler like book diary style vlog for Days of Blood and Starlight, and there was some footage in there that I actually really liked, but I filmed so much because I did it for an entire book. I just felt so overwhelmed, and maybe if I'd gone through it in pieces like as I was filming it and as I was reading, it would have been better, or if I'd gotten through the book faster. But none of those things happened, and now it's been like over a month, and we're just about done with the third book for the read along. And maybe if I'd started with Daughter of Smoke and Bone, that would have also helped, but I just really didn't want to start like these book diary type videos like halfway through a series as much as I thought that I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. No, I'm not down for that. So we are starting fresh, and I've decided that any mention of the read along in this is just going to be in a very casual context, no spoilers, no anything, and then whatever else I happen to be reading. So that's kind of where we're at with the vlogs, and I'm going to try that out. I have about like 60 pages left of this, 70 pages, something like that. I am almost done. I am in like the last stretch of this book. I can't sliding off my bed. Oh my gosh, I'm a disaster of a person. It's actually really nice outside right now, so I think I'm gonna sit outside and see if I can bust out like these left. Oh, I just lost my page. This is what I get for trying to do things. I'm a disaster. So I'm gonna try and sit outside and maybe knock out the rest of these pages today because I just want it done. I'm ready to move on to something else now. And I'm like, I moved inside. Also, I have Talkie Buddy because I have weight strips on right now, but I moved inside because honestly, there was a spider and I'm a coward, so I'm right inside. Hey, so I'm gonna chat really briefly here because I have to take my dogs out, but I just finished Dreams of Gods and Monsters, so I'm not totally done with the series because I still have to read Night of Cake and Puppets, which is the like book of novellas around Susanna, which I'm actually looking forward to because Susanna is my favorite character and her chapters were always my favorite. And she definitely gave me some laugh out loud moments in this, which I appreciated because this book dragged for the most part. So quickly, and again, anything I'm talking about I promise will not be spoilery, so I will try to talk as best I can to give my opinions without spoiling anything and giving enough details without giving too many details. So just saying that now in case you're worried anything I say might be spoilery, I promise I will not spoil you. I love Susanna's chapters. I've said that from the beginning. You even watching the live shows, Susanna's chapters just make my life. And there were literally points where I was like trying to stop myself from laughing so I didn't embarrass myself reading it in front of other people because she's just too funny. I still don't love like Karou and Akiva's relationship, mostly because I don't know, it's not even like I'm directly opposed to it at this point anymore. I'm just kind of meh. It's like I just care about as little as I always have. It's really what it comes down to, is more interested in everything else. I do think parts of the book probably did not need to be as dragged out or as long as they were. I don't mind a longer book. This book's about 600 pages, so it's kind of a medium length book, I would say. It's not like the longest book I've ever read. It's not the shortest. It's kind of somewhere in between. But there were just parts that I feel like really didn't need to be dragged out quite as much. You know, it tended to demotivate me because they were dragged out, and I was losing my motivation to read this book, and it was slumping me. Even though there would be parts and scenes and character moments that I enjoyed, it was just on the whole, it dragged. I really liked Eliza's arc though, and I won't get into specifics, but I loved her arc. I loved her from the very beginning before we found out how she ties in with the rest of the story. I really liked how that just tied together. I felt like that was really nicely done, and I just loved her as a character. I just found her really, really interesting. And there are honestly chunks of this book, even though I just read it, that I genuinely don't remember because it dragged and because I was bored. That I literally, there are just parts of this book that I probably will not remember if it gets brought up in the discussion next weekend, because I don't know. And that makes me really sad because that doesn't happen very often. But this book did not leave much of an impression on me at all, which is why I think there are large chunks of it where I'm like, yeah, I really don't remember what happened, despite having just read it. You know, overall, I enjoyed the ending. I liked how she tied everything together, and she tied different myths together, and she really just like kind of tied it off with a bow, and I appreciate that. And how, I don't know how else to say it without spoiling it, but basically just how everything came together. I thought that was fairly nicely done, and I do give her total credit for that. And I loved getting to learn about the dimensions, because that's been mentioned since book 1. And before starting the series, I knew it was a thing in this series because it was a thing in Strange the Dreamer, and there were like allusions to Karoo in the Strange the Dreamer series, which was the whole reason I basically wanted to read this series. So I enjoyed getting to add a little bit more information to Laini Taylor's world and dimension concepts, which again, I won't get into details because I don't know who's read what, but I thought it was really fascinating and very creative. And I already knew, again, a lot of that from reading Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, but to see this extra like element from this series added into it, it's like with each new series, I almost feel like I'm gonna get another piece to the puzzle. So that's what I hope, especially if she keeps writing books and they're all in some way connected, even if very distantly and very vaguely. I'm hoping I'll be able to read them and put pieces together. I am really looking forward to Night of Cake and Puppets because I love Zuzana, and if you'd given me a book about Zuzana from the beginning, I would have eaten it up. So that's what I plan to do. I'm gonna eat that book up like cake. All right, I gotta take my dogs out, but those are my thoughts, 3.5 stars, and we will discuss it next weekend. Hey guys, so I'm checking in. Hopefully I can do this check-in because I am so tired. I just keep fumbling over my words. I've been up since 3 a.m. for work. It is now early afternoon and I'm gonna lay down and take a nap here. But I wanted to check in on what I'm currently reading and what I'm going to be reading. So my next focus, now that I finished the Daughter Smoke and Bone series, is I'm going to dive into catching up on the books for my traveling book club. Now, as a brief overview, since it's been so long since I've vlogged and talked about it, I do a traveling book with 2 of my best friends in California. It's something we started doing when I moved to Seattle and we were unable to do bookish things together anymore. So we started a traveling book club where we will each sponsor a book and we will write in it and annotate it. We each have a designated pen color. We send it off to the next person and it makes its way around until it makes it back to the original sender. And it's so nice because even the books that aren't so great, they're somehow better because you're getting the reactions from your friends at the time that you're reading it. And it's nice whether you're the person who sponsors the book, so maybe you don't see everybody's annotations till after you've read it and it gets back to you. Being able to flip through and see their comments is really fun. Or if you're reading it and it's one of theirs, then you get to sort of read their reactions and their annotations in real time, which is really cool. And now all of these books are just like so precious to me because of how we've read them together. And we used to send them one at a time, but due to money and time constraints, we've just started sending them all at once now. I don't know why, really. I guess it's for those reasons, but that's how we do it. We end up sending 3 books. So I have the 2 that they sent me, and then I have 1 that I need to read and then send off to them. So I'm going to start with one of the ones they sent me, and that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, and that is by Leslie Walton. I don't have the dust jacket on it right now. And I really didn't know anything about this book going into it. However, my first impressions, I read the first chapter. I'm about 22 pages in, and I really like it actually. Definitely magical realism, but the type of magical realism I enjoy. There's a lot of magical realism I don't enjoy, but this is definitely the kind I do. And it's very whimsical. Right now I've only read the family history of Ava Lavender, and it's almost in the style of Amélie. If you've ever seen that movie, it's a French film. So if you ever watch it, you'll have to use subtitles unless you speak French. I do not, but I love it. It is a beautiful, funny movie, and I highly recommend it. It's super famous, been around for a long time. And it's very much in that style, to the point where I almost wonder if it was an influence on the author when she was writing this novel. Plus, it is set in Seattle, so that's super exciting because that's where I live. So I'm excited to see, even though it's set back in like the 40s or the, where is it? 1920s? I don't know. I actually don't know. Somewhere in the first half of the 20th century. I don't actually remember what decade we're in at this point. So that's what I'm going to focus on. It's already reading really fast, so I think I'm going to be able to get through this pretty quickly. And then after that, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, because I was actually sent a book for review. It is out already, so if hopefully I like it, I hope I do. It sounds really good. So, but it is out already, and that is Someday We Will Fly by Rachel DeWoskin. I haven't accepted a book in a long time because I'm in school, so a lot of times I just do not have the time or the energy, unfortunately, as much as I would like. But since I'm off of school and I was offered this book and it sounded really good, I decided to give it a try. It is a World War II setting, and it's basically about this Jewish girl and her family, and they flee Warsaw to Shanghai and how they have to adjust to this new life. And I haven't read a book set in World War II or during World War II in a really long time. It has been, and that used to be one of my favorite things. It's such a popular genre. Like, that's why there's an entire genre of books dedicated to World War II set novels. It's just been a really long time since I've personally read anything from that. So I'm excited to kind of dive back into a World War II fictional setting. Okay, that's where I'm at with what I'm reading. I'm super tired, so I need to take a nap, and then I'm actually have a movie night with Emma later, which, yes, she still lives across the country from me, although it would be fantastic that I could like just fly to her for a movie night. We're using the tried and true Rabbit for our movie night, and I have to go pick up sushi because that's like one of her things is sushi. It was like the one that introduced her and hooked her onto sushi because it's like one of my favorite foods. So I gotta go pick up sushi for tonight, and then I think after that I'm gonna take a nap, go get sushi, and then I think I should be able to get some reading in after that, hopefully. My brain will not function. All right, I will check in later. Hey guys, so I just picked up food, so I'm all ready to go for, I think we're doing it in a couple hours, so I'm gonna go put that in the fridge and be good to go for that. But I was getting some reading done while I was waiting for my food, and I wanted to comment that on what is it, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, I think that's what it's called. I might have messed up a word or two there, but I just wanted to throw out there a trigger warning for incest. I do not think that it is a dominant piece in the book at all, because it is not commented on any of the main characters that I can tell. I haven't even gotten to the main characters. It's just working its way through various histories. First it was the history of the family, and now I think it's commenting on the history of their house. That's what I'm kind of getting out of it, and talking about like who built the house. So it's a commentary on that backstory. Hopefully this is not something that ends up reoccurring at any other point. I will obviously mention that if that happens. So it is very quick and in passing, but I don't know anybody's like sensitivity level, so I just wanted to throw it out there. Trigger warning for incest on this book if you're in any way curious about reading it. Hey guys, oh, I feel like my makeup looks terrible in this lighting, but yes, I am about to leave for Wicked. I'm just waiting for my friend to get here. I'm actually the one driving into the city because I'm the only one not afraid to drive in the city. So I'll actually be driving us, but he's gonna come meet me here before we go pick up everybody else. I'm very, very excited. I did get some reading done yesterday. I think I'm almost at page 100 of the Ava Lavender book. And I really like it, even though we haven't really gotten to actual Ava yet. We're still in her mom's part of the story, but it's really good so far, and I'm really enjoying it, even though the entire family is just riddled with sadness. But I am enjoying the book so far. So anyway, he's gonna be here any minute, so I should probably go get my car ready, and I will check in a while. I had my live show today with Cassie and Katrina for the Daughter Smoke and Bone read along. We just read Dreams of Gods and Monsters. I don't know why I started to forget the names of everything right there, but it was a really good discussion. It's over on Cassie's channel if you're interested in watching it. But it's always just really interesting to talk with them specifically about books, because our ratings might be all over the place. Like, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I felt fairly generous by giving it that. Cassie gave it 5 out of 5, and Katrina gave it 4 out of 5. So our ratings were definitely all over the place, but we still have a full discussion, and it's not just like, okay, I don't like this and I disagree with you. It's like, no, like, I'll talk about the problems I had and how it affected my reading, and Cassie, who gave it 5 out of 5 stars, would be like, I definitely see where you're coming from and how that could affect you, and then she would add on to that, and we're able to have like a full fleshed out discussion, which is so nice. And with Katrina, I feel like we won't talk about the book really for the most part while we're reading it, but then when we talk about like our favorite scenes and stuff, we always just seem to pick the same things, and I just think it's really interesting that we're just so similar in our reading experiences, but we still gave it different ratings. And it's a really good discussion if you guys want to check it out, but I very much enjoyed it, and I love that Cassie's able to clarify certain things because she reread this series, so she has a better grasp on certain scenes and concepts, and things that I was a little fuzzy on, she was able to help me clarify and understand. So it was just, overall, it was a very, very good discussion and live show. So I recommend it if you've read the series or if you don't care about being spoiled, because it is a spoilery discussion. And yesterday I went and saw Wicked, which was amazing. And I feel incredibly fortunate to have seen the tour and the cast that I did. So it was just overall a fantastic experience, and I wish I could see it 10 more times. Hey, should I be reading? Yes. Am I going to sit here and play Red Dead Redemption instead? Also, yes. So I think I'm gonna throw a set of white strips on and get to playing some. I don't know, I kind of got back into it yesterday, and now I'm just sort of feeling it now. So I think that's what I'm going to do, maybe for like 30 minutes, an hour or something like that, just depending on what shenanigans I get up to. And also, today I decided to be a semi-responsible adult and actually get up and go to Target. I'm one of those people that can be very hard to motivate myself to run errands if I don't have anybody to go with, because I'm like, do I need those items that badly? No, I'm gonna stay home. And that's me, unfortunately. But so today I finally got up to go to Target. Now I've not been to Target in a couple of months because, you know, I actually really like Target, but it's just usually somewhat of a hassle. The parking lot usually sucks. So, but today I got myself up and I decided to go. And of course today they have this nationwide like shutdown of all their registers. Like, they just stopped working. There were like a couple that worked, but it was extremely slow. So, and I didn't even realize, like, coming in, because they weren't really letting anybody know until you were in the lines, I guess. So I'm like, just, you know, grabbing all my items, you know, taking my time, and I finally get into a line, and I did think they were really long, but it's also Saturday. I'm like, I don't know, maybe people are just shopping today. There's also a lot of graduations coming up, like maybe people are just sad. That's what I thought. Then I found out that they were shut down, and I actually managed to get into one of the lines of one of the only few working registers, and it took like a million years per person, because it would be like 40 seconds in between scanning items, and sometimes you'd have to scan items 2 to 3 times. I only had a couple items, so it wasn't too bad, but I did wait a while, but I also got into the line at a semi-reasonable point before everybody realized which registers were working, and the line was like a freaking mile long, so I managed to beat most of that, thankfully. It still took a little while, but at this point I was invested. And I wasn't like really mad, like I didn't really have anything going on today, so it wasn't like, oh my god, like if I don't leave right now, my whole day is ruined. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. What I will say, I felt so bad for the employees though, because one, they did not cause this, they didn't do this, they're just there trying to do their jobs. Also, in whatever way that they are handling this, they're doing so under somebody else's instructions, management. You know, and you just have all these customers that just, it's like these situations bringing out the know-it-all in everyone. And it's so frustrating to me because even when they're not necessarily being mad at the employees, they all have their 2 cents. And I just feel bad for the employees because they're probably not just getting like 1 or 2 people giving their 2 cents, but just repetitively throughout their entire shift, and they have to smile and nod and be like, okay. It's like, oh my God, in these situations, it's like, if you want to ask questions, fine, but you don't need to put your 2 cents in all the time. Just, people need to lay off sometimes with the, well, what you guys should be doing this or should be doing that. Like everybody is suddenly an expert in this little Target crisis. Or people saying, well, why don't you just shut down the store, you know? And it's like, that's not up to them. That's up to management. And if they're able to bring at least some people through, even if it's a slow process and people are willing to wait. And meanwhile, these are people waiting in line, willing to wait, asking these questions. And it's like, as long as there are customers willing to wait for these slow registers, even if there's only 1 or 2 that are working, of course they're not going to close the store. And even if they did, what's going to happen is you're going to end up sending employees home. They'll be losing hours. Like, there's a lot. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it sucks that it happened, but these things happen with technology sometimes. It's not the first store to ever experience something like this. All I'm saying is, don't make these employees' day worse by being an entitled know-it-all. That's all I'm saying. People just frustrate me. Alright, anyway, I am going to play some Red Dead Redemption. I need to freaking exfoliate my lips and actually apply the lip balm I bought, because my lips are dry. I cannot seem to get them like hydrated lately. It is a struggle. So that's what I'm gonna get up to. I'm gonna play some Red Dead Redemption and maybe get some reading done later. We shall see. I'm not feeling in a super reading mood right now. Like, I'm enjoying my book. I'm just not in a strong reading mood. So we'll see what happens. Hey, so I haven't read anything yet today because I ended up playing Red Dead Redemption a lot longer than I really planned. You know, sometimes that happens. So I did play that for a few hours, and I'm actually just hopping on here because I want to talk about a couple things that I got today that I'm already really, really loving. So I've been having really dry lips lately, which is super obnoxious just for the fact of having them. But then if you want to do lipstick or anything, it's really annoying. Also, hopefully I'm in focus. I just put lash serum on, so my vision is a tad bit blurry at the moment. It'll like clear up, but hopefully I'm in focus. But I got the Fenty Beauty, what is it, the Pro Kisser lip scrub. This thing is really bomb. Oh my gosh, it was pretty fairly priced, especially for being something that's sold at Sephora, but this is so good. Like, it actually exfoliates your lips really, really well without making a mess like some sugar scrubs do, where you get it like all over your face and it seems to like you're using them and it is exfoliating, but like the sugar just seems to move farther and farther away from the area you actually need it to exfoliate, because it's all in the stick. It stays exactly where you need it and you literally just rub it back and forth on your lips. And it worked really, really well, and it did it without like tearing my lips, because usually that happens when they're dry. They're really sensitive and they tear and they bleed and it hurts and it's just terrible. But I am already really digging this lip scrub, and this might be like a new regular product for me. I also picked up the Vaseline Pink Bubbly Lip Therapy today, which I had kept seeing, well actually I kept like seeing online, and I went to go find it, and several stores are supposed to carry it, and I'd gone to a couple different stores and I walked in and it was nowhere to be found. But the one place I did find it, and it was actually in stock and a physical place for them to carry it, was Target, and they had a whole bunch. So I picked this up today and it was like $3, no joke. But this stuff is amazing. I will mention that it does have a very strong fragrance. It smells like roses, which doesn't personally bother me because I like the scent. But if you're super sensitive to fragrances, it's something to keep in mind. But between the lip scrub and this stuff, like just by the end of today, my lips feel so much better and so much healthier, and I'm kind of amazed because I have a really difficult time with that. But this seems to be like a winning combination right here. Hey, so I got an Amazon delivery, which means it is the first of 2 books I have coming today. So I thought I would do a little unboxing for you guys and hopefully not show you my address in the process, because that is a struggle for me usually. Also, I just bought this lipstick like 10 minutes ago at Ulta, and I bought it on a whim from some Milani lipstick, and I'm kind of like digging it. I don't know, I feel like it's bold without being like in your face bold. I don't know, but I'm feeling it. I also picked up the Perversion mascara from come on, Urban Decay, which was a suggestion because I was asking about everybody's favorite mascaras on Twitter. And this is not a beauty channel, I swear, but it is a part of my life. And I was actually asking you guys what your go-to mascaras are, and I kept seeing Urban Decay's Perversion, so I thought I would give that a try. And yeah, so the first book that was delivered today, Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. We will be reading this for the upcoming Bibliothon, which is why I ordered it. I also picked up some lash comb, so that's less exciting. Just happened to order some lash combs with it. I do have another book coming later, so I'll do a little unboxing for that one when that one gets here. And it is time for unboxing number 2. Hi, yes. It's not for you though. You don't know how to read. Okay, so. Night of Cake and Puppets. This is the book of novellas. It basically surrounds Susanna and Mick from the Daughters Smoke and Bone trilogy. Honestly, I am looking forward to this book the most. I wasn't a huge fan, as I've mentioned probably 15 million times at this point of the series, but I am super excited for this one because I love Mick and Susanna so much. But also this cover is absolutely gorgeous. I'm kind of obsessed. And I just realized this flipping through, there's I don't know if you can see, there's pictures in it. There's actual like images, and oh my god, just freaking look at that. Okay, I am kind of obsessed with this book already. I haven't read it yet, and I'm already obsessed with it. So this, I think, is going to be a lot of fun to read. It is significantly shorter, so I think between that and the fact that there's actual pictures in it, I'm just like, keep looking at these, and I'm just like super obsessed. Yes, so I am actually really, really excited to read this. Guys, so I wanted to do a final check-in. I'm a little discombobulated right now because I had a crazy day at work, so I was super exhausted from that. And then I laid down to take a nap, and I didn't sleep for very long. I maybe slept for like an hour and a half, but it was one of those, like, I was sleeping and I was dreaming, so I was dreaming very hard, and then when I woke up suddenly to noise, like it was a what year is it sort of moment, and now I feel more tired and just I can't get my thoughts together, which is very bad because I actually have to go back to work tonight, so I'm not looking forward to that, but it's a couple hours of pay, so I'm gonna take what I can get. Anyway, I wanted to check in for the end of the vlog here. I was hoping to have Ava Lavender done at this point, but I've been sort of just not feeling motivated to read, and it's not because the book isn't good. The book is very good, although I have hit, I would say, sort of a slow middle now that we've gotten into Ava's story. So I'm really hoping that's just a sort of transition period into better events coming. And it's not really anything against the book, it's just when I'm already sort of struggling to stay focused to read because I'm tired and whatnot. When I hit a slow part in the book, it does make it harder for me to like pick up that book, even though it's really not the fault of the book. It's just, you know, happens to be the story. But I'm still really enjoying it. It's probably sitting at like 4.5 stars for me currently. I'm a little over halfway. And it's really well written. It is so beautifully written. It really is. And just the characters in it are so interesting. And they're very dynamic. They're very dynamic characters. Even the smaller characters, just neighbors on the street. There's so many dynamic characters in this book that I really appreciate. And even though it takes place in Seattle like 50 years ago, it's still really interesting to read it and know all these places. But sometimes with these characters, and it's not a criticism of the book, if anything, it's flattery of the book, the fact that these characters are so well written, but sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, what are you doing? Stop it, stop it, stop it, you know? And I'm saying this to not spoil anything, it's just, when books do that and I get so invested in characters, even when they're making bad decisions, I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, that's how you know you wrote a good character. So I'm gonna try being the operative word here. I'm going to try and get some reading in before I have to leave for work again. I'm trying to finish up editing the vlog because I've been trying to work on that and I haven't had a lot of time to do that. So I'm gonna try and get that wrapped up. Our reading challenges are now posted for the Bibliothon if you have any interest in participating in that, because it has dawned on me in the last couple days how quickly it is coming up and I need to get on to filming for it. So fun things ahead and not stressful at all. So yes, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog, hopefully get a little bit of reading in before I have to leave for work. I need a shower, and I will see you in the next vlog.